Hi there, leadership class. Here we are on week 3.5 to be exact, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the mission, objectives, goals, and all of the above. So I hear there's a little bit of confusion. The book makes first a statement that goals and objectives are synonymous in many cases, but then they go on to differentiating them. I think that many organizations struggle with all these different words, and sometimes they don't use these words. The important thing is to get the information out there and to be precise so that it's clear what the agency wants to accomplish. What are the larger goals? What is the social problem that they're dealing with? Because, of course, in this case, we're only talking about social service agencies, so I will continue to refer to them as such. But you use a mission even for a for-profit business that sells an actual product. So the mission statement really should be concise, because somebody can't go on and on reading an entire page about what their mission is. It's really to address a social problem. Now, granted, a social service agency oftentimes addresses many, many problems. So what is their bigger goal? What do they want to address? Human well-being, mental health, physical health. Go into what the area is. What do they actually want to address? How do they want to address it? But in big terms, we want to eliminate something. We want to increase the well-being in this particular population. It's a big, lofty goal. However, it's not as lofty as the vision statement. Oftentimes, an agency doesn't actually put out a vision statement, but a vision statement should be, what would the world look like without this problem? Like, if we actually did our work, if we accomplished everything we wanted to accomplish, our vision should be a world without this problem, or a world where everybody gets this treatment that we're talking about. So let me talk about my agency, Corrections to Community, that I founded and ran in Michigan and Oklahoma. Ultimately, what we wanted to do was reduce recidivism. I mean, that's the measurable goal that we had. However, that wasn't all of what we were trying to do. We were trying to work with individuals in the prison system and help them as they transition to the outside world, help them stay in the outside world and not go back into prison. But how would we do that? We would do that by working on their well-being, both physical and mental health and well-being. And how do we do that? Well, we had to look into the issues that contributed to recidivism. So that would be employment, education, family dynamics, addiction. There are many contributors to recidivism, which is going back to prison, that we would address and thereby address their well-being. So how did this all spell out? Well, it spells out in different ways. It's not just in the mission statement. You don't need to say everything you're going to do in the mission statement. It spells out in the mission statement, this is what you hope to accomplish. The vision statement, the long-term goals, like I said, extremely lofty. And then you could separate out goals and objectives. So goals are communicating what you would like to achieve, and objectives are communicating what you will do. Then underneath the objectives, if you get into some more detail, you have some activities. Those are how you aim to accomplish these objectives, which meet these goals, which are all under the bigger goal, which is your mission statement. So I see in some of these agencies that you are interning at or work for, they like to state their ideology in their mission statement. I would leave that out. That their mission might be to spread the word that aligns with their ideology or their religious beliefs, but that's a rare occurrence in this particular agency, that the mission of this agency would be to spread the word. Then that's not a social service agency in the social work sense that we're talking about. So I would stay away from ideology in the mission statement and state what they aim to accomplish, helping in some sense. So I'm going to post a a short little PowerPoint that is what I used way back at the beginning of my agency. So you'll see that the mission statement is a bit lengthy. If I were to rewrite it now, I would probably shorten that and put some of that separated out into objectives. There are objectives in here too, so take a peek at what this is. And I'm also going to put in just a couple of statements after reading all the discussion boards and some things that you can refer back to as far as the mission statement, what it is and what it should be. I'd really like you all to go back in and try and come up with some objectives. So very few people came up with new objectives. Now, some of these agencies are well thought out and well articulated, such as the VA. You're really not going to change much of what they say they're doing. However, if you were writing it, and kudos to the person who's placed it, the VA, LaJoy, you might leave out the quote from Lincoln, in the mission statement, because that's more of an ideology than exactly what they're aiming to do. So I would encourage you to go back in and rework what you would like their mission statement to be, and at least 3 objectives. So again, objectives are what do you aim to do to reach your goals. So I guess I should have asked you to write goals in between those 2 things. But we'll get to this more. And I guess I also wanted to talk about, why are we doing this in a leadership class? Well, leadership is responsible for creating the vision for the organization. And as it changes, in changing those words and in inspiring the people that work for the agency and the clients that come to the agency, that this is the place for them to tackle this social problem. So I would like you to put yourself in this position of being in the leadership, at least theoretically, of this agency. And the starting place, of course, is where you're doing your internship, because that's tangible at this moment in time. Continue to send me emails, as I thank you to the classmate that sent me the email saying there was a little confusion here, because I'd like to clarify. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.